particular time thought I was scared of him, that I was afraid. So he said, Floyd don't want to fight me. I'm willing to meet him at 152 pounds or 152 and a half. And me,
I gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
Roy Jones Jr. against Andre Ward, Terence Crawford against Floyd Mayweather at 47.
In response to Crawford's claim that he is superior to him, Floyd Mayweather has increased the likelihood of their already possible battle. Crawford's victory against Canelo is fantastic, but he shouldn't consider himself superior to the man who retired undefeated at 50-0, according to Floyd. Floyd made it apparent that he has always exercised caution when assigning boxer rankings. He also gave Crawford a lot of accolades prior to this fight, frequently referring to him as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world right now.
Wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me?
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd?
I don't know. I thought you'd hesitate maybe even a bit, but no.
Nah, not at all. That's one of my favorite fights.
However, since Canelo, the only man to have sparred with both of them, stated in his post-fight press conference, the topic of discussion has changed from respect to a possible challenge. Crawford is, in my opinion, far superior to Floyd Mayweather. Since Canelo himself is the only one who truly understands his point of view, that remark alone has sparked a firestorm.
Him as the greatest of all time. Now, I know it's hard because obviously you've been with Floyd and a lot of people saying Floyd is great, but does that at least put him in that conversation with your Floyd Mayweathers, your Manny Pacquiao's, your Sugar Ray Leonard's, all the greats of the past, and obviously Canelo obviously as well because he'll be there. Does that put him there?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, nobody will ever like Floyd.
By moving up 2 weight classes and defeating Canelo, who for more than 10 years was thought to be virtually unbeatable at 160 pounds, Crawford's reputation has never been greater. The question of whether Crawford is the greatest fighter of this generation is no longer being asked. They want to know if he's the greatest male boxer of the century. Floyd Mayweather is currently the only one that engages in that dialogue with him. That is the reason why the possibility of a Mayweather versus Crawford bout is so intriguing.
Compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's battle with Terence Crawford.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Shortly later, Stephen A. Smith shared his viewpoint. Smith did draw the comparison, even though he does not completely agree with Canelo. I will not sit here and make that statement. In my opinion, Floyd Mayweather was a defensive wizard. You have to look at Floyd in this regard, stated Stephen A. on ESPN. After he advanced to welterweight, he consistently suffered hand injuries. For the most part, he was aware that he wouldn't be able to knock you out. Despite this, he entered the ring and performed brilliantly since he was so much better defensively and technically. Then, he pointed out the crucial difference between them. We witnessed Crawford get punched multiple times tonight. Since you couldn't hit Floyd, we didn't see him very much. That's the distinction.
Canelo, choose one, please.
Guys, we gotta go. We don't.
Can you elaborate on why Crawford is better than Mayweather? It's just a little bit of detail.
Oh, he can switch. He's very smart guy. He's better.
The focus of the argument has shifted from Mayweather's ability to avoid getting hit at all to Crawford's ability to take shots and react. Because it feels more courageous to defeat larger men the way Crawford did. Some fans incline toward Canelo's viewpoint. Others agree with Stephen A., arguing that greatness isn't just about who you defeat, but also about how little harm you cause.
You got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much.
Ryan Garcia has joined the discussion as well, although he approaches it quite differently. Garcia delivered one of the most scathing critiques of Floyd that we have heard from an active fighter on Ring Magazine's Inside the Ring show. He had the worst conceivable impact on boxing. Ryan asserted that he is the most skilled at determining when to fight. Garcia maintained that Mayweather deliberately picked opponents who were either past their prime or had not yet fully developed. In his heyday, he never truly engaged in combat. Thus, he did indeed alter the game in the most detrimental manner.
Career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people, but
you at the top of your career in your prime. You in your prime when you were 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so and that's why Canelo was saying what he's saying. Make himself look like
Garcia acknowledges Floyd's commercial acumen. He even claims that he is the best at inciting heated arguments. However, he also presents that negatively. Why? Since he was timed them all. According to Garcia, Mayweather's cautious approach to risk created an environment where safeguarding the zero was valued more highly than taking a chance against the most formidable opponents. Ryan remarked, "Me, Tank, Canelo, Crawford, we're trying to reverse the impact of Mayweather," referring to his own readiness to take on Gervonta Tank Davis in 2023, despite the fact that it resulted in a knockout loss.
Been through wars.
100%. Crawford is a young gun trying to prove himself, in my opinion.
Garcia's criticism resonated because it highlights a generational gap. In Mayweather's time, planning and business were just as important as abilities. Daring challenges are valued in Crawford's period, at least according to perspective. People are so excited to see Crawford versus Floyd because of this tension, which goes beyond a simple bout to include a philosophical conflict. Garcia's perspective has elicited conflicting responses. Floyd is defended by some experts who remind out that time and boxing have always been a part of a sport and that his resume is full of Hall of Famers. Garcia, according to others, is expressing what many fans have long thought, that Floyd's style of perfectionism tainted the sport.
He's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather.
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really.
Interview 9. Floyd hasn't responded to Garcia directly, but his record, 50 fights, 50 victories, and no defeats, always acts as his loudest argument. But Max Kellerman's perspective has the depth of analysis for which he is renowned. Floyd's resume is far more extensive than Crawford's. Max started by saying that Floyd was quicker and had a stronger defense, among other things. However, he then included the crucial disclaimer. Floyd was selective about who he fought, particularly when he left lightweight. People recall, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times, despite the fact that his resume is more detailed with names.
Thought about going for 51-0, beat Mayweather's record with 50-0. Is that something that you thought about?
I already said I was never gonna beat Mayweather record. That's not something that I wanted to do.
Okay.
To be honest, I was gonna retire if I didn't get this arrow spin.
Kellerman contrasts Crawford's strategy with that. We all saw that Crawford wanted to be with everyone the entire time, despite the fact that his CV is lacking in several areas. That has an impact on people. He even made a historical analogy, implying that Crawford's aura now is comparable to that of Sugar Ray Robinson, who is still regarded by many as the best boxer of all time. Like Sugar Ray Robinson, he's leaving a legacy that goes beyond his resume. According to Max, Sugar Ray Robinson is still regarded as the greatest boxer of all time by those who have watched him for decades on end. Everyone gets pounded up by that guy.
Member, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
That makes a difference to people.
Additionally, Kellerman warned. He mentioned how Roy Jones Jr. once attained this same degree of awe following his victory against John Ruiz, only to have that impression damaged by his subsequent career setbacks. Roy would have maintained that aura if he had never engaged in combat again. Crawford's career is still being written, Max explained. However, following his victory over Canelo, Crawford has given the impression that he outperforms everyone.
You before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. Go. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's white.
Is he white? There are obvious divisions among the boxing community. On social media, several fans pointed out that Floyd shunned Pacquiao for the majority of Pacquiao's best years, while others retorted that Pacquiao first declined the bout due to the blood test controversy. Even as Crawford forges his own history, these exchanges show how divisive Mayweather's legacy is.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over, 140 pounds, 147.
Floyd, however, hasn't held back from reminding people that Crawford deserves praise, but shouldn't be compared to him just yet. Floyd expressed his desire to collaborate with Crawford and potentially sign him to Mayweather Promotions prior to Canelo's defeat. He also gave Crawford the highest ranking in the modern era, pound for pound, demonstrating his respect. However, the prospect of a fight feels more genuine than ever now that Canelo has acknowledged Crawford as the better boxer, and Crawford has been forthright about wanting to be seen as better than Floyd. All of this is influencing the plot and making this hypothetical showdown a reality.
You know what I mean? And, they competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd will be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. It's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just...
Floyd has not formally announced any plans, but based on his reactions to Crawford's remarks and his defense of his historical position, it appears that he may still be fighting. People actually think that Mayweather versus Crawford could happen when you take into account both his history of picking bouts that get the most attention and Crawford's present momentum. What are your thoughts? Please subscribe for additional updates and share your thoughts below.